My 24F boyfriend, 28M, told me to get a paternity test when I told him I was pregnant. I've been in a relationship with Nico for 3 years now, and we were discussing plans to move in together later this year and becoming engaged by next year. We were always very open and communicative when it came to our relationship and never had any big problems besides the petty argument here and there. I found out I was pregnant about a week ago and was super scared because my career is just taking off now and I'm not emotionally or financially ready to have a baby. I told Nico the day after I found out, since I was meeting him in person. I never thought he would be ecstatic or anything about the pregnancy. However, he just looked at me and asked me to get a paternity test. I was shocked and hurt that he would suggest I was sleeping with anyone else. It grew into a huge fight where I asked him why he didn't trust me to even ask me that. He said he did trust me and did think I was a cheater, but he was not ready for a kid, and if there's a chance that it's not his kid, he wanted to be sure because he was not taking care of it if it's not his. This logic doesn't make any sense to me though, because if he trusted me, then why is there any doubt that the kid isn't his? I went him to see what we can do together and get over it together, but instead I feel like I was just slapped. I'm not even sure if I want to be with him anymore due to this. 3 years together and this is what he thinks of me. Also, throughout the week I've been having second thoughts on aborting the baby as well. I'm so scared I'll regret it later and miss my baby, but Nico keeps insisting on the test first before conversations about it, since he's not sure if it's his yet. These are two different topics. 1. Do you want to keep the baby? That's your decision. 2. Do you want Nico to be part of your life? The fact that he would immediately question paternity makes me think he's looking to bolt. Do you want that uncertainty and unreliability in your life? Hi, I'm just here to say that when I got an abortion I knew immediately that I didn't want to carry the pregnancy to term and had absolutely no regrets with getting an abortion. When you don't want to be pregnant, you won't suddenly regret it when you get an abortion. That's just what pro-birthers want you to think, so you doubt yourself. If that's what you want, you will only feel immense relief. Think long and hard about it before you make the choice. You've already confirmed neither of you are ready for the baby. I can tell you from personal experience, as I was a single mom at 23. It is incredibly difficult, and your career very well may need to take a backseat if you're unable to afford childcare. It is outrageously expensive, and don't have help from him, family, etc. Not to mention, confirming the paternity and putting him on the birth certificate will legally bind you for the next 2 decades to someone who tried to get out of raising this baby immediately. Odds are he's not intending on doing his best to provide and be a family. I'd never regret having my little one, because being a parent is an indescribable gift. But I'd never wish single motherhood on anyone. It's emotionally, physically, socially, and financially draining. Nico keeps insisting on the test first before conversations about it, since he's not sure if it's his yet. That's not the language of someone who trusts you. Whatever decision you make is yours. But staying with someone this untrusting and this disrespectful sounds exhausting. There's no fight to be had. Either he thinks you cheated on him or he doesn't. End of story. If he doesn't, then no paternity test needed. If he does, he should leave you. You'll get a paternity test, and he can pay child support from afar. Or you can abort, if that's the decision you make. This honestly seems like the sort of bullshit he'd come up with if he's looking for an excuse to end the relationship. Whatever you decide, plan to be a single mother. This guy is not a guy for you. One thing you should consider is if waiting for the paternity test will make it too late to get an abortion. You're only 24. You don't feel ready for a kid. The father is being aggressively awful about not wanting the kid. It seems like keeping the baby would give a lot more cause for regret than waiting for a better situation to have a wanted baby. He's clearly desperate not to be on the hook for this kid, and he has zero intentions of having a family with you. This guy is not the one. Personally, I would terminate the pregnancy and end the relationship. Children should be planned because happy little accidents generally turn into horrible relationships. You can't leave with partners who make terrible parents. He doesn't think you cheated, but I think he is hoping you did. That would give him an out. Honestly, yeah, that's a pretty huge red flag. Unless he can admit to being scared and apologize for being an asshole, I don't think I'd stay with that person no matter what decision you make regarding the child. As far as the baby goes, all I can say as a new father myself, 6-month-old, raising a child is extremely demanding. I wouldn't trade our little bundle of joy for anything in the world. But you need to really understand what raising a kid, especially in this COVID-19 mess, will be like. Because once you have that kid, there is no going back, and the last thing you want is to be a parent who resents their child. No matter what anyone says, you need to make the right decision for yourself and your potential child. And if you don't feel ready or aren't stable, I would recommend at least researching all available options. No matter what you decide, don't let anyone shame you for your decision. The fact that he won't discuss anything with you at all is very selfish. You went to him asking for help and he won't entertain a second of it and is instead accusing you of cheating on him. He's fine to ask for a paternity test, and it's not always a sign of distrust for a man to do so. Let me make that clear. But if he trusted you, the conversations about abortion or keeping it wouldn't be dependent on the test. He doesn't trust you. He's so interested in disengaging on a child that he's completely disengaged on you and your relationship. He's looking for an out and won't be present if it is his child. And I think you need to take him out of the picture right now, since he is so uninterested in being in it. I'm speaking about for the below decisions in particular. But this man isn't interested in being a partner. He's interested in an easy relationship and is bailing on you the second things gets hard. So really you probably need to rethink the entire man. So the choice to keep and raise a child comes to you. The decision to keep or abort is yours. The decision to keep or give up for adoption is yours. The decision to raise is yours. Do you have anyone else in your life close to you who you can talk this through with? Paternity tests aren't that cheap. I'd say make him buy it if he's so worried it's not his. I would get the paternity test and give it to him while I break up with him. For me, this relationship would not be salvageable. Nobody can tell you what decision to make about the pregnancy, including him. I would not ask his wishes in this. And if you chose to keep the pregnancy, I would go into it assuming he won't be involved very much. But regardless of if you keep the pregnancy or terminate, for me, I would do the paternity test, not to be petty or spiteful. Well, maybe a little, but to make sure he knows that I was who I said I was the whole relationship, and he lost the relationship because he didn't respect, appreciate, or trust that. You have to make your own decisions, but if someone I was in a long-term monogamous relationship with asked me for a paternity test, that man would from that moment on be dead to me. Many people would also say he's probably cheated on you and that's why he thinks you would have. His reaction sounds more like he was just shocked and scared about having an unplanned child. His escape hatch is the baby not being his. He knows you get to make the decision about whether to keep the baby or not. So he's pressuring you for a test, rather than an abortion. He's an immature 28-year-old. Whether you decide to reconcile with him after you make your decision about the baby is up to you. But I don't think his reaction is about trust. It's about fear and lack of control. To be honest, knowing it's 100% his, I'd probably get the test just to rub that in his face, win the argument. Then you can make the decision as to whether you want to keep the boyfriend and the baby separately. They're your choices, but you've got rid of this hurdle he's created of insisting on the test. Also, if you decide to keep the baby, the paternity is proven and he'll have to pay up. I mean, regardless of what you might feel, paternity tests should probably still be normalized anyways, because why the fuck not? It's just more information and assurance. Edited a letter. You need to focus on you and what you want. You may end up raising your baby alone, which is fine. I had a surprise pregnancy when I was 21. I kept my baby. He is 13 now. He is everything to me. His dad was only 18 when I got pregnant, and at first he wasn't ready. Now he and I share custody and he is an amazing father. I definitely think you need to give him some time to process. He went into fight or flight mode. Ask him, if the baby is his, does he want to be part of the child's life? How does he feel about children? You'll be okay. Just don't do anything unless it's your decision. Good luck. You have nothing to hide. So get the test. Lots of men blindly trust their partners just to find out years later the kid isn't theirs. It's not about whether he trusts you or not. Women have the luxury of knowing 100% their kid is theirs, while men do not. You know for a fact that the child is yours because it is growing inside of you. There is a test that exists that can confirm that the child is his as well. Why should you deny him that same security? Some people lie, and regardless of how good of a person you are, the thought that you might be lying is now in his head. It's not fair to you, but it's a burden that we all have to live with. Instead of just doing the test to ease his insecurity, you're fighting it. Can you not see how suspicious that looks? Putting 100% faith in people is how you get hurt. TBH, I don't think this situation is recoverable. Your ideas of trust are fundamentally different, and you will not be able to move forward if the best argument you have is, you should trust me. I wouldn't stay with a man who thought there was a chance I had gotten pregnant to someone else. Whether or not to keep the baby is a different issue.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.